talking about transforming parish communications, growing the church through new media. That's also the title of Scot Landry's book. Joining us this morning from the Archdiocese of Boston at 11 after the hour on Morning Air on Relevant Radio. Coming up later on in today's show, it's interesting. We have these little themes that seem to recur through our show. Father Robert Barron has a brand new website, the redesigned website of wordonfire.org, so we're going to take a look at that. How do you get a parish? There's a parish listening. If there's a pastor right now or maybe a member of a parish council, and the church really should be in the electronic media. We really should have a website. We really should be going up on Facebook. What advice would you give to parishes who are still not yet in that electronic mode of communication with their parishioners?
My first piece of advice is just start to take the first step. You got to begin somewhere. So a decent place to start, and it's not just to promote my book, but I wrote the book in a way for pastors and parish staff that say we're so busy, we're taking on so many more duties that 20 years ago we had more help in the parish office, so to speak. So I wrote the book in a way to put together a draft implementation plan over 24 months, 2 years, of how to begin and grow all electronic outreach through new media. So if a parish doesn't even have a website, and we have parishes out there across the country that still haven't been on a website, why aren't they there, even though the Holy Father in the Vatican has been leading the way on this? It's frankly because many of their parishioners that come each day, they're not asking for it. And then the parish hasn't said, one of our primary missions is to reach out to everybody who's not here praying with us. And new media is a great way to do that. A parish website I describe in the book as the virtual front door of the parish. And I believe when somebody moves new into any town across this country, one of the ways that they'll try to say, is that church going to be a place that I want to come and pray, is they'll go to the website and they'll want to see some photos of smiling people who are praying devoutly there, and it looks like a community that they would want to be part of. And when they show up on Sunday, hopefully, that they feel like they know the place a little. So that's why we're encouraging every parish to get there. And one step at a time. You can't do all these new media tools all within, a couple of weeks unless you had a huge team. But you can certainly begin, and within 2 years, I think every parish can be excelling at the use of new media for outreach.
That's a great doable goal, Scott, as we talk about transforming parish communications, really growing the church through new media, the title of Scot Landry's book this morning, and giving us some useful information. And just as a pastor might reach out to carpenters, plumbers, people who have specific skills in a parish, you can reach out to people who have IT skills as well to help maintain the website or maybe just get you started.
And in every parish, if they have any sort of a youth ministry or young adult group, the vast majority of folks in those age demographics will know how to use Facebook. They'll know how to use Twitter. They'll be consuming information on blogs and websites. So there'd be a good group to involve in this. And the bonus is a lot of young people, particularly young adults, who want to be involved in their parish. There aren't as many volunteer roles that they say that are a great fit for who they are and how they're hoping to contribute to the church. So this is a great way for a pastor to get, the next generation of leaders in the parish. And the more involved people are in helping to grow the parish, the stronger the parish will be. And so many of the younger families that we're trying to reach out to who aren't necessarily coming to church as faithfully as their parents and grandparents who were Catholics did, involving people of that age demographic in this outreach ministry will help them reach one of the most important target audiences that we want to bring back to the church.
Scot Landry from the Archdiocese of Boston this morning. He has written the book, Transforming Parish Communications, Growing the Church Through New Media. So far on Morning Air, we have talked about how the parish can actually embrace new media to evangelize. And coming up next, we'll find out how you and I can do the same thing using our new media as we continue with Scott at 16 after the hour on Morning Air on Relevant Radio.
Great stories about great saints on Relevant Radio. Here's Relevant Radio contributor Eddie Cotter.
We spoke to them not with words, but with our hands and our actions. Those were the words of the great Saint Peter Claver, the Jesuit priest who was affectionately known as the Apostle to African slaves. St. Peter Claver was born in Spain in 1580 and was ordained a priest at the age of 26. He spent 38 years in Colombia where he ministered to black slaves, calling himself the slave of the blacks forever. It's believed that St. Peter Claver heard over 5,000 confessions a year. He died in 1654 and was canonized by Pope Leo XIII in 1888. He's a patron saint of people who are enslaved. St. Peter Claver, pray for us.
Great stories about great saints on Relevant Radio. Learn more about the saints at relevantradio.com, keyword saints. relevantradio.com, keyword saints.
There is such a thing called an app.
The Relevant Radio app for your smart device.
I think that means application in English, but it's really cool. You can get this app. It's a universal way to listen to Relevant Radio.
Listen anywhere on the planet.
It is your electronic parish. That's what Relevant Radio is.
So get your app on your gizmo. It's available for Android, iPhone, or the Kindle. Download it in the App Store. Go to relevantradio.com, keyword app. Get the app.
Download it now at relevantradio.com, keyword app.